Hey Nami, once again.
Hello.
This
This
feels
is
so
so
different.
yeah. I have to keep reminding myself it's not a video chat. Otherwise, immediately, how are the babies? Where are the babies?
It's beautiful to have you. Of course, Nami is also not just. I mean, like Nami already mentioned, there are a lot of times that we have these casual conversations where we chill and talk so much about
Yeah,
music and things like that. But this is the first time that we're going to do this on a very like on a live social media platform.
I
Yeah.
will feel. Yeah.
So I would like to understand from you a little about your initial Western classical training. I know the moment when you joined Augustin Paul Sir and how you entirely switched from that child who was constantly being pushed into music by your parents to somebody who just
You know
discovered something.
this.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I did music Carnatic for 4 years, and then I stopped because I had lost interest. And I remember you are the one that told my mother, I think she has a flair for Western, put her with Augustine Sir. And then I went and my life changed. I
Okay.
really enjoyed. And people think Western music, as in I went and learned like pop and
Hmm.
what Taylor Swift and Dua Lipa is doing. I learned Western classical music, which is opera, and even I went into it quite blindly. But as soon as I started learning, it's amazing. It's so much fun. Also, you're
Yeah.
learning something that not everyone um, goes and learns about. But once you get into it, I think it's really interesting and it's really fun. And Augustine Sir is the best person to learn from. I mean,
Oh
you know that.
yes. Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very grateful to you, Renstata, really.
No, at least yeah, I've also had the honor of learning from him, but for a very short period, 5, 6 months, and then today when I look back, I mean, those are still some of the best times that I've really learned under somebody who
Absolutely.
could share so much. But I think you studied under him for a very long time, like
Oh,
some
quite
five
a
years.
while. Yeah, I think easily about 6, 7 years.
Okay.
And technically, I should be, still learning from him. But after I finished my eighth grade, it's not like we have classes. He gives you the
Mm,
pieces and he says you work on it on your own, and then you come back to me and we work on it.
right.
Which
Right.
is when things started getting when it's not a proper class.
Hmm.
I also started kind of neglecting it, but
Okay.
if I see him anywhere and I still message him once in a while and stuff.
You got really good grades with your Western classical, things. Sorry. Come again.
I said I'm very proud of it too.
Yeah, and one thing that we also tell people, like, of course, we get a lot of questions about what is head voice, what is the chest voice, what is this whole, what people talk about, falsettos, and a lot of questions keep coming in, and we understand that only Western classical music actually takes you into the depths of that. Of course, we have Hindustani and other forms of Carnatic and all that training, but which does not go into those areas,
Yeah,
but that Western classical music is where you cover all those important, so many techniques, and in fact, we also have shared a couple of tips and tricks that I've learned from there, where we talk about doing the full doing a full breath. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, doing a full mouth resonance, and things like that, so which kind of covers, but I think Western classical music also focuses so much on voice culture. I mean, the emphasis for voice culture in Western classical music, I feel, is far deeper, compared to any other formal training, proper classical training. So tell us, how is it? How was your experience, learning those things?
learning. Yeah, because even Carnatic music, I only did it very young for 4 years,
Mm,
and when I went and Western classical, it was a completely different experience. He starts off with warm ups. Carnatic music, we
Mm,
don't have any warm ups as such.
mm,
We start our pieces. Here
mm,
we have warm ups with vowels and sounds like rrr, and
mm,
it really helps. And we even do pieces in German, in Italian, and
mm,
so it's opening up a whole new door and
mm,
world for people who just go into it blindly. And another thing is, I think he even talks about breath work in your jaw, like how you said, when
mm,
your mouth movements, saying even what. I
mm.
realized when you're doing Western classical, it's what.
Oh,
Start with the H first so that it resonates better. So all
right,
that is pretty cool and interesting to learn, and I'm glad
right.
you guys are also implementing it. I think it's great.
Yeah. So tell me about your entire transition from singing covers and having so much fun singing your favorite, songs from your favorite artists to moving into that space where you decide to do your own songs, like write your own songs, compose your own songs, put out your own songs. Tell me a little more on that.
It's a bit of a blur even for me, because for the longest time I never even tried writing songs. I never thought I could write songs. There was like a blockage within myself, which COVID just kind of forced me to get out of, because I just had nothing but time.
Hmm.
I just gave it a shot, because I said, okay, even if I'm really bad at it, I am just bad in my own room. I'm not for anybody. That's the whole thing. You don't want to be bad and have people say, "Oh, this chick is really bad." That's the blockage that I
Mm,
had, personally.
yeah.
So, 2020, I started writing um, a few cute, songs on my ukulele.
Mm,
And when I worked on Be My Quarantine and I put that out, which, if for people who don't know, Ranjith only helped me with the song. Yeah, now honestly, when I think of it, I feel like my sound has changed. My Who I
mm,
am as an artist has changed. So I don't really resonate with Be My Quarantine anymore. But end of
okay.
the day, that's the song that got me to start putting out and writing more songs. So it'll be
Yeah.
special. But I when to answer your question about how I made the transition, I don't know. I just had a lot of time, and I thought, okay, if you're gonna be bad at it, just give it a shot anyway.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's really how it all begins, when you really think about it. I think a lot of people, even a lot of our learners, have so many questions and doubts about what to do, what to do this, how to do this, and all that. So we always tell them first, just start. Just do it. First do it. Don't get lost in thoughts. Don't
Yeah,
don't don't let that come in the way of that simple act of doing,
yeah.
just doing
But
things and
get to that point, I feel there is something like in you that you really need to push, because for someone like me, I'm very self-critical, and I kind of, I think we've had this conversation with my brother also. Like, he's like,
yeah,
not to take yourself too seriously.
yeah, yeah,
It's real hard work, and I'm still trying. But I
right,
think that is the key to just doing. Just do it for the fun of it. Don't take yourself too seriously.
yeah,
Like, that's something I'm still working on, and I think that makes so much sense.
that's true, that's true. So was Quarantine from Reality your first song? Is that your first, would you call it your
Uh,
first
that was not
independent song?
wrote, but that was my
Okay.
first release.
Okay, okay.
I had written another song based on a TV show called
Mm-hmm.
Dexter, serial killer.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I had rewatched it during lockdown, and or just before lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just day in and day out. I was watching that character, and I kind of liked some dialogues in the series. So I wrote
Okay.
those down. I made a song. Lyrics
Wow.
wise, I really liked the song. Song wise, it was really bad. It was so bad. When I play it now, I'm like, oh, what is this tune? But
Yeah.
I think Be My Quarantine was the second song I wrote. Yeah.
Be My Quarantine. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I also I really enjoyed. I mean, I remember when you sent me the session, for me to sit and work on the sound and do some mixing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I was so excited because I was like, wow, Nami, I've seen her grow up. I've seen her covering a lot of artists, and now today I'm mixing the song, which of course I think Gokul also helped you with uh,
So
the
song Quarantine, I played the uke. I wrote it on the uke, and then I just asked him to add some snaps.
basic snaps and
Yeah, and he helped me record it, and he helped me with everything.
okay,
Always,
right,
as every
right,
song that has happened so far, it's
yeah,
been it's been the three of us. It's been you, my brother.
yeah. Yeah, it was so much fun listening to that new fresh sound, from you and the words and everything. So all of you guys who haven't checked out Be My Quarantine, please do check it out. You can it's under Nami. You can it's available on all platforms, I'm sure, Spotify and YouTube
We
Music and everything.
because we were at peak lockdown. Eden and I shot a video. My brother and I shot a video on his iPhone with just me, and we kind of revamped the house. We moved some furniture around, and we shot it on our iPhone, and it was really cool. That's the whole. I love the process of it more than
Yeah.
anything. Now, when I think of it, yeah, the song is not who I am anymore, but the process was just so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. It has taken you to who you are today. That's
Exactly.
so you can never. Yeah, it's see. I believe that it's also important that we celebrate along the way. Sometimes we feel that we need to
Absolutely.
wait for that big award, that big achievement, that big recognition, where the whole world comes up to you and tells you that you're worthy of some phenomenal award. Yes, that is there. Yes, that'll happen. But I guess through that journey, I think it's very important also to kind of
True.
celebrate the
I,
little
yes,
processes. Yeah.
absolutely.
Sorry?
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
How and when did you transition from, playback singing to, yeah, I want to do independent, I want to do something with Makka?
Yeah, I think actually for me, it's always been there, all these years working with some of the fabulous music directors in the industry. Of course, I was just a playback singer. I just go do sing my song and just get out of the scene. That's all it's always used to be. But I've always been in awe of the kind of work that they do. Of course, they're composers. They are people who are working for films where it's way more challenging because you have a scene, you have a story, you have a particular hero, and then you have so many different situations, so the music has to exactly fit into that situation. And people like Mani Sharma sir, Vidyasagar sir, of course, Raja sir, and the best of the best, Yuvan and Iman and all of them, watching them do what they do has always put me in this state of awe towards this whole idea of composing and producing your own songs. But I've always gotten like I've always wondered whether I would be able to do justice to that, because there you need your skills as a composer is like knowing a lot of things. It's far more what should I say, complicated when I really look at it. But when then eventually slowly when the independent scene started coming in, and that's when I realized there's so much beauty and joy as an artist, for you to dig deeper into your emotions and dig deeper into your situations, like your real life situations. Today you have a son, there's a certain you have a certain feeling that automatically happens, and
Yeah.
turning that into a song, or turning a certain situation into a song, turning a certain emotion into a song, which is uniquely you. Now you don't
Yeah.
have a director coming and telling you, producer coming and telling you, or a hero coming and telling you, do this, do that. It's
Sure.
literally, yeah, you have all the freedom in the world,
Yeah.
but sometimes for a person who's walked in from a place where you hardly had any freedom, to suddenly walk into a space where you have all the freedom is also kind of a
Yeah.
very different experience.
It's a very different experience. Yeah. Like you're
Yeah.
kind of lost and don't know what to do. Okay. I don't have anyone telling me this is right, this is wrong, you know?
Yeah, because for so many years you're used to just doing what people ask you to do. Somebody
Yeah.
says, Ranjit, I want high energy, sing like this. You sing it and they're like, wow, great, awesome, next. So your job is done, right? But
Yeah.
now here you dig deeper and you dive deeper into your own emotions and try to connect with things. So
I
that's
feel like that's like in writing your own music and being an independent musician, it it kind of lets you find your own voice, if that makes sense.
mm,
Because when I
yeah.
do covers, for the longest time, I will adapt to how the song is, you know.
Mm.
And then when I start exposing myself to more music around me and also trying to write, I realized, okay, you make the cover your own. You find your
Mm,
way of adding your own twist to it.
yeah.
Oh, I feel like that is also very important with
Yeah.
just being
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Being more creative, I guess,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
everything. I mean, most of our learners ask us this question, so I'm just throwing this question to you. What is exactly? Do you have a set process to like creating a song? Like, what are the steps to creating a song? Like, is it like you write the lyrics first? Is there like a format, or is it a free flow of imagination? How has it worked so far? Because you've done Be My Quarantine, and then you worked on Kaviday. Kaviday is again something that we worked on together.
Yes, that song is so well received. Everyone, like there are some times when I go to a house party, and there'll be like party music playing, and then suddenly
Mm.
someone will be like, "Macha, play Kaviday," and then I'll just be, "Why are you doing this? The song is super chill for a party." But you know, it's so nice when people, want to listen to it and be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's here, let's play the song."
yeah.
But yeah.
So what is do you have a set process, or what is it? What are the steps that you go through, while creating a song?
I don't have a set process as such.
Mm.
Whatever song that I've worked on, like for my releases, it's
Mm-hmm.
been also different. Like each song has been different. Be My
Mm-hmm.
Quarantine, I wrote on the uke. Like I was just
Mm-hmm.
strumming, playing, and I came up with just the chorus. So I wrote lyrics, and then I worked on the verses.
Okay.
Then when I work with Michael Timothy, who's another fabulous producer from Chennai,
Right.
he whatever songs I've worked on with him, he sends me a beat and like a produced track, like a skeleton, and then
Mm.
I write over it, and I send it back to him, and then he does his tweaking, and it
Mm.
becomes a song. So I feel like with the different people that I've worked with, I've had different processes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with Kaviday, I mean, technically, I didn't write the lyrics. It was Gokul's band that wrote the lyrics, and then
Yeah.
they gave it to me. So that was a whole group team effort.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, and I also got to try some production on that. Yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
made the song what it is. Your vocals and your like production wise, also whatever you added was what made the song what it is.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I think actually, when you spoke about Michael Timothy, I really need to tell you, and of course also our listeners, what a fabulous producer he is. I've been a huge fan of his. I still follow him on YouTube. I check out some of his new songs. Of course, Nami and Timothy have also collaborated together. They've also released a few songs together. Do check that also out, and I'm hoping someday I will also get to speak to Timothy, go live with Timothy and kind of
100%.
explore on his process.
Definitely. You can just message him and tell him to come on. He'll come.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, to see very young talents, fresh ideas, in the market, in the scene, you know. So coming to that, I feel collaborations is something that we really encourage our participants to indulge in, because it's one thing that you sign up for a course and then you do it all by yourself, and understand a lot of different interesting concepts in music. You work them out, you practice them at home in your comfortable space, and you build that knowledge that you have. But I think collaboration is completely another dimension to learning, because once you
Yeah.
step out and meet with these fellow musicians and bounce off these ideas, tell us your experience with learning from collaborations, and what collaborations have really done to your journey.
Yeah, I think apart from like going to classes helps with your technique, but creatively, I think collaborations is the way to go, because you are meeting and working with like-minded people, and at the same time they have different ideas that you wouldn't have thought of, and you have ideas that they wouldn't have thought of, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the
Mm,
whole joy of it, figuring that out, and figuring out, okay, this artist's ideas and mine really go together, which is what
mm,
happened with Michael.
yeah.
Michael and I, we started off with a remix, like a existing song. We made
Mm,
a remix, and then we worked on another song, and then he started sending me beats, and then I wrote and I sent it back, and
mm,
now we have about 4 songs to our
yeah.
name. So it's,
Lovely.
I think collaborations is the best way to learn. And also for me, writing songs, I am relatively new to it. I'm only 2 years
Mm,
old.
mm, mm, mm,
But the more I collaborated with, you guys and Michael, I wrote more and I got better at it. So I
mm,
think
mm, mm.
it really helps. Collaboration is
Awesome.
a great way to learn.
So I wanted to ask you about publishing music. Like, how do you do it? I know you're not somebody who's signed up with any label or anything as of now, and
Yeah.
it's not like, so you pretty much figure out your own ways to kind of publish your music, get it into different
Yeah.
platforms.
Now
So
that's
should
a whole other it's a lot of work, honestly. I'm also still figuring it out, because
mm,
marketing is a very big part of it, and um, social media is the way to go right now, and I'm still figuring it out, so I'm just going to
mm,
say what I'm learning as I
yeah,
go.
yes,
So I don't have a record label. I'm not signed to anybody, so the whole process is you find a distribution site that you just talk to people. I've also spoken to friends, fellow musicians, and
mm,
decided, okay, DistroKid works, or CD Baby works, or TuneCore works, and once you go there and you're uploading your track, there's a whole, like, the list and the things that you have to fill in. You're like, I didn't know all this had to, it's, I don't want to get into too many details about it, but it is a process, it is a task,
mm.
and I can't wait to have someone sign me on, because I don't want to deal with that. It's not the most fun thing.
Okay. But I
But
think the fact, yeah,
been with
I
like with
uh,
you when it comes to playback and Maka,
mm.
how are you distributing your music, publishing it?
So I think so far, whatever we've done, I think most of my the independent stuff that we've done, especially with regard to Makkah, we have a manager, we have Silver Tree managing us, we have a team, which works and helps us with all of that. So I think that way I've been a little, I've never really had to go into the nitty-gritties
Yeah,
of that process. But I'm really excited about the fact that you're not anymore, in a sense, dependent on labels. It is whatever the CD Baby and the different platforms that you were talking about. I believe what they really do is they empower artists who are still
Absolutely,
not, yeah, who are
absolutely.
still not there yet, to kind of still get their content and their
Out there.
creativity
Yeah.
out on the platform.
This is a start for to approach labels and be like, hey, this is what I have to offer. You know,
Exactly,
damn
exactly.
cool. Yes, I completely agree.
And I think also as an artist, people take you seriously. You can't just say I've uploaded something on YouTube and listen to it. I mean, people take you more seriously only when you have your name on multiple platforms.
Yes.
It's important for that. And you don't know who loves what platform. So when you say it's available on all these platforms, it's easy, depending
Yeah,
on what kind of
for,
an audience you are,
for sure.
you jump on and but I think the process that you're talking about is I'm guessing it's just a matter of time, because we're all headed towards a place where I'm guessing we just need to open Spotify and just say upload.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? When I went into it, I did it so blindly, and it was just me and Gokul, and we're both like new to it. So
Yeah,
when I was uploading Be My Quarantine, I'm like, what is all this? And that's when you're like, okay, this is serious.
yeah,
When
this is serious.
you also feel like a serious musician uploading it.
Right, right, right.
So it's an experience.
It's an experience, yeah.
Your
And
first time is an experience, at least for me.
see, with so many artists today, like, how, I mean, everybody is an artist. I tell people that today, you don't have to, like, again, wait for a recording label or anything like that anymore, because you have YouTube for videos. You have, if you want to go on podcast and talk to people, then you have Clubhouse, then you have Twitter on one level where you can, send short messages. And so you are a company, you're a production house of your own, because you have all these platforms available for you to show your presence, and then you have a LinkedIn if you want to reach out to a more corporate market and things like that. So you are a production house, and this is the case with every individual, and there's no real limit to how much you can explore this and make the most out of it. So that being the case, and with so many different kinds of content coming into the world, and every day there's new kind of content, new kinds of ideas floating around, and people tripping on them, and enjoying that kind of a stuff. So how do you manage to stay? What's your mantra for staying unique and inspired and continuing to put out content that is good and interesting?
Uh, I don't have a proper answer for that. I think I just, when I want to, I put out content. I've realized there have been times where people, like upcoming artists like myself, feel the pressure to put out stuff because,
Mm,
oh, I have to,
mm,
so that
right.
people, I stay relevant,
Mm.
But I've noticed every time I've tried to do that, I don't like what I've done. Even if it's a cover,
Mm,
just me putting my phone, playing the ukulele, and singing a song.
mm.
When I'm not doing it for the fun of it, and I'm doing it, oh, I need to post something today.
Mm,
I don't like it. I think for me personally, it's just what works for me is when I'm doing it for the joy of it, and when I'm
right,
suddenly like, oh, I really like this song, I want to cover it. I want to do it
right.
right. That's when
Yeah,
that's what works for me. Otherwise, how do I stay creative? I don't know. I think just everything around me inspires me sometimes, and sometimes nothing inspires me. Like I said, the
yeah.
first song I wrote was about a TV show based on serial.
Mm.
You know, it's it's really subjective. It really depends.
True, true. I think there's a lot to do with the moment also. Like in a particular a certain moment just fills you enough with
Yeah,
ideas, and
agreed. Yes,
it's like that random breeze that just passes by you. It's like one hit of imagination. It's a
yes.
hit of inspiration. Yeah.
happens for me and I'm not in a place and position to immediately go, work on something, there's like notepad in my iPhone, just like with lyrics or like some chord that I heard and I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. Like suddenly knowing me, one minor chord will really like pique my interest. So
Right.
I'll go write down what chord it is and be like, okay, let's write a song like this. So yeah, completely agree. Like sometimes a moment it just sort of
Yeah.
happens.
Sometimes I also feel one other challenge that I face is that you don't know when to stop also. Like there's a point where where do you wrap this up? Like, yeah, it's nice. Tomorrow again I work something, it'll sound nice. And there are times when you really think, oh wow, this is amazing, this is mind blowing, this is the best work ever. Then
And
you
then
sleep over it. You sleep over it, and the next day you're listening to it, and you're like, no, what was I thinking?
I think like we've had this conversation so many times, but it's so true. It's so true. Don't know when to stop, and then
Mm,
you don't know what to trust also, like what you said, one day it sounds great, the next day you're like,
yeah,
and immediately you lean you, you lean towards believing the side that says no,
yeah,
right? Like I
yeah,
you feel like we'll change it, we'll work on it more, and it just goes on and on. I completely agree.
correct. I think that's when that whole concept that we initially spoke about, like, don't take yourself so seriously, comes in. It's
Yeah,
like, when you realize, yeah, then when you finally fall into a space where, like, yeah, this is what I've done today. Okay, I'm just going to let it go because I'm always going to be able to do something more, or maybe I'll put that energy into a new song. I mean, it's not the end
it
of
really,
everything.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
key, and that's something that I'm still working on, and
yeah,
I'll get there someday. But when I remember we had this conversation at home, you, me, and
yeah.
Gokul, and
Okay.
one of you all said it, learn not to take yourself so seriously. And it blew my
Mm,
mind because it just made sense.
yeah, yeah,
As an artist, you just do it because you enjoy doing it. If people don't like it, people don't like it. People like it, people like it. It's not in your
yeah.
hands.
Correct,
You
correct,
just do it.
correct, correct. So there are moments when even I ask myself, when I'm clouded with these things, or this, that or this, right or wrong, and this, and then I'm like, the one question that kind of eases me off is, why so serious?
Yeah.
You know, why are you so serious about this? It's life. Things will happen. Things will change, and opportunities will keep coming.
What's the difference between getting signed and being an independent artist? Like, is there a difference? Or
There is a difference. Putting it in the most simplest way, I think independent artists, you're doing everything on your own. And when you're published, when you're signed on to someone, you have a team taking care of um, your releases. You make the music, and then there's a whole team helping you with everything else.
Once you're an independent artist, and when you sign up with a label, you basically are in contract. So let's say a Sony or a Saregama or any independent music label, or let's say Kudo for that matter, because that's the new label we have in town. So so you sign up with Kudo, and they tell you, they come in a contract with you, so you produce 10 songs for them for a period of
Also,
whatever, 1 year or 2 year. Yeah, so you sign up with them. So every release, any song that you release in that period of a year, which could be any number of songs within a year or 10 songs within a year, it depends on the kind of contract that you get into. They will make sure that they will publish it, they will put it out, they will market it, they will give you they will make profits out of that work that you put out, which will of course be shared by you and the label. And there are a lot of such things. So this all happens only when you are in a contract with a particular sound label, sound company. But otherwise, if you're still an independent artist who is not yet signed, still there is a way. That's what we are talking about. There is a process. We have CD label. We have other online platforms where you can just still publish your songs, get your songs out there, and then there you get on a contract with these platforms like Spotify and all that directly. So they also will give you a cut of the profits that they make once they start making them. So that happens in a direct thing where you're not signed up with that middle party, which is the sound label.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You said going digital is everything for an independent artist. So I just wanted to find out what steps you're taking to sort of expand on your online community, because I'm sure a lot of our learners would really be interested in knowing what kind of steps you're taking to try and work towards expanding your online presence.
Yeah, very, very honestly, I am not very good with my social media game, as we call it. Um, because I've heard you need to post every day, and you need to show. They say you need to show your face on your Instagram stories every other day, and like talk to people,
Mm.
make it a very interactive session. Even if it's just
Mm.
stories, say, "Hey guys, I had this for breakfast in the morning," and it's work. I've realized it's proper work, and I'm still working on that. I don't do that. Once in a while, there'll be one picture, and then you will see me very active when I'm promoting my stuff. But then when I have nothing going on, I'm not
Mm.
very active. When I
Yeah.
should be, I feel like people watching. If you're learning, you need to be
Mm.
consistent. Don't just come when you need the people to listen to your music. But yeah, I think it's just these Instagram lives. There are people who when they have a YouTube video coming out, after the release, they immediately go on Instagram and go live, and there's a whole bunch of people just talking about the whole release and the video. And only now I'm also slowly learning all that, and I'm trying it out as I go and seeing what works, what doesn't.
Are you doing anything specifically for YouTube, or are you just promoting it on Instagram?
So my song that's coming out soon, I am doing something for YouTube, but it's again Instagram. I think right now is where you're starting. So your Instagram crowd, you lead them to YouTube, and then you lead your Instagram crowd to Spotify and Apple Music. I think right now, Instagram is your start.
Mm.
PaatuClass.